Okay, imagine this scene. The final whistle blows. A whole nation just holds its breath. And there's this one man, the guy who's carried their hopes for so long, finally lifting that ultimate trophy. He's cemented his place.
Yeah, etched in history.
Or picture this, getting recognized not just for being an amazing athlete, but for really significant humanitarian work, getting the highest civilian honor a country like the U.S. can give.
And both of those images, they belong to the same person, Lionel Messi.
Exactly. He is, well, definitely one of the most talked about, most celebrated figures in sports today.
Absolutely. A career that's just packed with unbelievable achievements on the field, but also a pretty significant life off it, too.
For sure. So today, we're doing a deep dive into the life and career of Lionel Messi. We've got this stack of source material you shared with us covering pretty much everything.
Yeah.
From his childhood in Argentina right up to, what he's doing now.
Right. And our goal here is to sort of cut through all the noise, pull out the key insights, the really fascinating details. We want to help you get a clear picture of the moments, the records, the impact that really define who Lionel Messi is.
Okay, let's dive in. And where better to start than, well, the very beginning? Rosario, Argentina.
Born June 24th, 1987. And he grew up in a family where football was everything.
Yeah, his dad, Jorge, worked at a steel factory. His mom, Celia, in a magnet workshop.
Yeah.
And he was always playing constantly with his brothers, older cousins, some of whom actually became pro footballers too.
You see that deep football connection right from the get-go. He joined a local club, Grandoli, coached by his dad at just 4 years old.
4.
Yeah. Then at 7, he moved to Newell's Old Boys. That's a club he still feels, a real loyalty towards.
And look at the sources about his time there. Yeah. Something really jumped out, that youth team he was on.
Ah, the Machine of 87.
Yeah. They called them that because they were, like, practically unbeatable.
Yeah.
Can you even imagine? The sources say he scored almost 500 goals for them as a kid.
It's staggering. And apparently he used to do ball tricks at halftime during the first team's games, entertaining the crowd. The talent was just obvious so early.
Clearly exceptional. But that time also brought a massive challenge, didn't it?
It did. When he was only 10, he got diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, GHD.
Which needed really expensive treatment. The material says, what, about 1,000 euros a month?
Yeah, around that.
Yeah.
A huge amount back then. His dad's insurance only covered it for 2 years. And Newell's, well, they initially said they'd help out.
But they didn't follow through.
They couldn't or wouldn't, yeah. They reneged on the promise.
So that medical issue, it became a real turning point.
Absolutely, because another big club in Argentina, River Plate, they saw him play. They were interested, even willing to pay for the treatment after a trial.
The Newells blocked it.
They refused to release his player card. So needing that treatment, not getting the support locally, that really set the stage for Barcelona.
Right. Which brings us to Spain. The family had relatives in Catalonia, and that connection helped set up a trial with FC Barcelona. This was September 2000.
And here's where that almost mythical story comes from. The Barcelona board, they were a bit hesitant, signing such a young kid, a foreigner, small.
Understandable concerns, I guess.
Sure. But the club's director, Charlie Rexach, he saw something extraordinary. He was so convinced, apparently, that he didn't want to waste any time. He grabs a paper napkin.
Napkin contract.
Exactly. December 14th, he writes out a basic agreement right there on a napkin just to secure the deal because he believed in this kid so much.
That's incredible. It's more than just a fun fact, isn't it? It shows Rexach's conviction, acting decisively when the club itself was maybe unsure.
Totally. So the family makes this huge move, relocates to Barcelona in February 2001, but it wasn't smooth sailing right away.
No, the sources talk about a really tough start. He couldn't play many official games initially because of transfer issues with Newell's.
Right, just friendlies and the Catalan League.
And he struggled socially? He was very quiet.
Yeah, incredibly reserved. Some teammates apparently thought he might even be mute. Plus, he was intensely homesick, especially after his mom and siblings went back to Rosario for a while.
Wow, that must have been incredibly lonely for a young teenager. New country, new language.
Yeah.
Mostly on his own.
Definitely. But things started to turn around after about a year at La Masia, their famous youth academy. He finally got registered properly with the Spanish Federation, the RFEF, in February 2002.
So he could play in all the games then?
Exactly. And that seemed to help him integrate. He started making friends, notably Cesc Fabregas and Gerard Piqué, future stars themselves.
And around 14, he finished the growth hormone therapy.
He did, and he became this key player in what people call the baby dream team, probably Barcelona's best ever youth side.
That 2002-03 season sounds amazing. 36 goals in 30 games for the Cadets A team, and they won everything.
An unprecedented treble. Yeah. Regional national titles. Just dominated.
And there's that story, the Partido de la Máscara, the mask game.
Ah, yes. Shows his toughness, right. He broke his cheekbone, had to wear this protective mask in the Copa Catalunya final.
But he didn't like it.
Found it annoying, apparently. Took it off, and even injured, scored 2 goals in about 10 minutes before they subbed him out. That kind of grit, even then, it's telling.
Absolutely. It wasn't just skill. He had that drive. And he got an offer from Arsenal around then, too.
His first foreign offer, yeah. But he chose to stay at Barca. Fabregas and Piqué, they actually did leave for England around that time.
Interesting. And his rise through the ranks just accelerated after that.
Incredibly fast. In the 2003-04 season alone, he played for 4 different youth teams.
4.
Yeah. And the stories from training sessions, the sources say he'd join the first team sometimes and just, well, destroy the senior players. They were amazed.
And Ronaldinho, the big star then.
He saw it straight away. Reportedly told teammates after one of Messi's first sessions, this kid's going to be better than me.
Wow. And he helped him.
Big time. Took him under his wing, called him little brother. Apparently that made a huge difference in helping Messi feel comfortable and transition into that first team environment.
So the official debut wasn't far behind.
November 16th, 2003. Just 16 years old. It was a friendly against Porto, managed by Jose Mourinho at the time.
Made an impression.
Definitely. He started training more regularly with the reserves and joining the first team for sessions weekly after that.
And the contract started reflecting his potential.
Oh, yeah. First pro contract in Feb 2004, $30 million buyout. Then he debuts for Barca B a month later, contract updated, salary doubled, buyout jumps to $80 million.
They knew what they had. And he was working on his physique, too.
Yeah, consciously building muscle mass. He knew he needed to compete physically, being naturally smaller.
By the 2004-05 season, Frank Rijkaard, the manager, brought him into the first team properly.
Right. He played for Barca B, but got promoted quickly. La Liga debut in October 04. And then that first senior goal, May 1st, 2005.
Against Albacete. And the assist came from
Ronaldinho, of course. A beautiful little lob over the defense. Perfect.
Making him the youngest La Liga scorer for Barca at the time, 17 years old. And they won the league that season.
They did. Then on his 18th birthday, first senior contract, massive $150 million release clause. 3 months later, updated again, 9-year deal, doubled salary. They were locking him down.
The trophies started piling up fast then. La Liga again, Champions League in 05-06. Though he missed the final injured, right?
Yeah, that was tough for him. But they won the Supercopa de España in 2006, too.
And this is when we start seeing those moments that just became iconic. That first Clásico hat-trick in 2007.
Oh, absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Against Real Madrid, the first player to do it in 12 years, announced himself on the biggest stage imaginable.
And that same season, those 2 goals,
Yeah.
the ones that looked just like Maradona's in 86.
Uncanny. The solo run against Getafe, like the goal of the century, and then the handball goal against Espanyol, like the hand of God. The new Maradona comparisons just exploded then.
After a bit of a down season in 07-08, Rijkaard left, Pep Guardiola came in, and that changed everything.
A seismic shift. Guardiola built the team around Messi, gave him the number 10 shirt, made him the absolute focus of that revolutionary possession-based style.
And his goal numbers just went crazy.
Exploded. 38 goals in 08-09. Part of that incredible front three with Eto'o and Henry. They scored 100 goals between them that season.
And Guardiola used him in that false 9 role.
Famously debuted in a Clásico win against Real Madrid. Messi drops deep from the center forward spot, creates chaos for defenders, links up play. It was devastatingly effective.
That whole 08-09 season was just historic.
The first treble in Spanish football history. Copa del Rey, La Liga, Champions League. Unbelievable achievement.
And they didn't stop there.
Nope. Went on to win the Spanish Super Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, and the FIFA Club World Cup, the sextuple. Held all 6 possible titles at once. Unprecedented.
And this is when the individual awards really started flowing. First, Ballon d'Or.
By a record margin in 2009, and then incredibly, she won the next 3 as well. 4 consecutive FIFA Ballon d'Or. First player ever to win 4. Plus his first European golden shoe for top league scorer.
The records just kept falling. That year, 2012, 91 goals.
91 goals for club and country in a calendar year. It's almost unbelievable. Broke Gerd Muller's long-standing record.
And he became Barca's all-time top scorer at just 24.
Surpassed Cesar Rodriguez's record that had stood for nearly 60 years. Astounding.
Plus 73 goals in the 2011-12 season alone.
Across all competitions, yeah. A European club record. Got him his second golden shoe.
His influence was so massive, they started talking about Messi-dependencia.
Right. This idea that Barcelona were tactically, maybe even psychologically, completely reliant on him. The stats kind of backed it up. His direct goal contributions kept climbing, over 40% by the end of 12-13. When he was out, the team often struggled.
Then came another legendary era, MSN.
Neymar and Luis Suarez arrived. 2014 to 2017 under Luis Enrique. What an attacking trio.
The numbers were insane. 122 goals between them in 14-15.
And then they broke their own record, 131 goals the next season. Just unstoppable.
And that firepower led to another treble.
Incredible, right? Barcelona became the first club ever to win the Continental treble twice. Did it again in 2014-15.
And around this time, he also became La Liga's all-time top scorer.
Yeah, overtook Telmo Zarra's record, which had stood for decades. Just relentless consistency.
More awards followed. 5th Ballon d'Or in 2015, his 4th and 5th Golden Shoes.
And then in 2018, after Iniesta left, he became club captain.
A huge responsibility. Won the Supercopa as captain right away, and then his 10th La Liga title, the first wearing the armband.
His final years at Barca were still packed with records. A 6th Ballon d'Or in 2019, 6th Golden Shoe, which was also his 3rd in a row, another record.
8th Pichichi Trophy for La Liga top scorer, also a record.
And he passed Xavi's record for most appearances for the club, 768 games. His last trophy was the Copa del Rey in 2021.
And then the departure. August 2021. So emotional.
Brutal. He wanted to stay. They'd apparently agreed on a deal, but the club's financial mess and La Liga's rules just made it impossible to register him, leaving in tears at that press conference, gut-wrenching for everyone involved.
A really tough end to that chapter. But the story continued. Paris Saint-Germain.
Joined PSG right after, August 2021. 2-year deal. Reunited with Neymar, took the number 30, his old debut number.
And won titles there too, League One in both seasons.
Yep, 21-22 and 22-23. Plus the Trophée des Champions 2022.
Still breaking records, even in France. Passed Ronaldo for most goals in European club football.
702 goals. And he had 1,000 career goal contributions, goals plus assists at club level while he was at PSG. Just staggering numbers.
And then the move that really shook things up, especially over here. Inter Miami.
July 2023, signed a 2.5-year deal with the MLS club. Sent shockwaves, absolutely.
The impact was instant, wasn't it? Messimania.
Oh, completely. That free kick winner on his debut became captain straight away. Ticket demand went through the roof. MLS profile boosted globally. His number 10 jersey, bestseller overnight.
And he brought them their first trophy right away.
Led them to win the League's Cup in 2023. The club's first ever piece of silverware. Massive.
And the 2024 MLS season has been remarkable, too. Broke records for assists and goal contributions in a single game.
5 assists, 6 goal contributions, and he captained them to the Supporters' Shield. That's his 46th team trophy.
Plus, his first MLS hat-trick became their all-time top scorer already.
In way fewer games than anyone else, yeah. Set a league record for points in a season and won the MLS MVP award. Just incredible impact.
And there are even reports now from April 2025 about him possibly extending his contract through 2026.
Yeah, the sources mentioned talks. It would line up with their new stadium opening, so he might be staying in MLS for a while yet.
Okay, his club career is just mind-blowing. But you can't talk about Messi without talking about Argentina.
Absolutely not. That whole journey, the quest for international glory, he had dual nationality, could have played for Spain.
But he chose Argentina.
Always Argentina. Started with the U20s, won the World Youth Championship in 2005, Golden Ball and Golden Boot there. Led the U23s to Olympic gold in Beijing in 2008.
His senior debut, though, a bit rough.
Very rough. Age 18, 2005, friendly against Hungary. Came on, got sent off almost immediately. Controversial red card.
Ouch. But he got his first start soon after, scored his first goal against Croatia.
Became Argentina's youngest player and scorer at the 2006 World Cup. Then helped them reach the 2007 Copa América final, runner-up, named Best Young Player.
And he eventually got the iconic number 10 shirt.
After Riquelme retired internationally, wore Maradona's number. First wore the captain's armband at the 2010 World Cup, then got it permanently in 2011.
But then came that really painful period, the finals.
Oh, the heartbreak. 3 consecutive finals lost. 2014 World Cup final against Germany, he won the Golden Ball for Best Player, but they lost. 2015 Copa America final, Lost to Chile on penalties. He apparently refused the golden ball that time.
And then 2016, Copa America Centenario.
Same story. Lost to Chile on penalties again. Just brutal.
Although during that 2016 tournament, he did become Argentina's all-time top scorer, right?
He did pass Batistuta, a huge individual milestone, but obviously overshadowed by a final loss.
And after that third straight final defeat, he actually retired from the national team. Briefly.
Yeah, the weight of it all just seemed too much. He announced his retirement, but it sparked this huge campaign in Argentina, hashtag no te vayas, Leo. Don't go, Leo. Everyone begged him to come back.
And he did.
He did. Came back for the 2018 World Cup qualifiers, scored that incredible hat-trick against Ecuador in the last game just to get them there.
But the World Cup itself ended in the round of 16.
Yeah, lost a classic match to France, who went on to win it all.
The 2019 Copa America, where they finished third, that seemed like a turning point, though.
It really did. That tournament kicked off this amazing 36-game unbeaten run for Argentina. It felt like something was building.
And then, 2021, the breakthrough.
Finally, Copa America champions ended Argentina's 28-year wait for a major trophy. He was immense. Became their most capped player during the tournament, named player of the tournament, involved in almost all their goals. It was incredible leadership.
More silverware followed quickly. The Finalissima in 2022.
Yeah, dominant win against Italy, the European champions. He was player of the match again.
And then Qatar, 2022, the World Cup.
The absolute pinnacle. Led Argentina to their first World Cup in 36 years. Scored twice in that unforgettable final against France. Won the Golden Ball again, first player ever to win it twice.
Set records for most appearances, most goal contributions.
26 World Cup games, 21 direct goal involvements, just rewrote the record books while lifting the ultimate pride.
And he kept going after that. Reached 100 international goals.
Third player ever, first South American. Became the all-time top scorer in South American World Cup qualifiers, too.
And then just recently, 2024, another Copa America title.
Back-to-back, set the record for most appearances in the tournament, 39. And became the second highest international scorer ever. The international legacy is well and truly complete now.
Okay, let's talk about how he plays. What actually makes him Messi? His physique is obviously unique.
That short stature, low center of gravity.
Yeah.
It's key to his agility, his balance, how he can just weave past players. La pulga atomica, the atomic flea. It fits.
And surprisingly strong, too, right? Doesn't go down easily.
Exactly. Good upper body strength, amazing balance. He rarely dives. And that speed with the ball. Guardiola's quote about him running faster with it than without it, spot on. And that left foot is just magic.
So, prolific scorer, obviously, but also an elite playmaker.
Absolutely. His vision, the range and precision of his passing, he orchestrates attacks. He's not just a finisher, he's often the creator, too.
Free kicks are world-class. Dribbling is maybe the best ever.
His free kicks are lethal, among the best all time. And the dribbling. Maradona said the ball just stays glued to his foot. It's like an extension of his body. And those quick combinations, the 1-2s, especially with guys like Xavi and Iniesta back in the day, just unplayable.
His role changed over time, too.
Definitely evolved. Started as a winger, became that revolutionary false nine under Pep. Later, especially under Enrique and Valverde, you saw him drop deeper sometimes, play more centrally, conserve energy, but still dictate the game.
Less pressing, maybe, but more efficient?
Exactly. Smarter movement, conserved energy, probably helped his injury record, too, along with diet changes. He adapted his game brilliantly as he got older.
Okay, the comparisons. We have to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo.
The defining rivalry of a generation, maybe of all time, widely seen as the two best, constantly compared.
Messi himself kind of downplayed the rivalry aspect.
He did, but most observers feel they pushed each other to heights neither would have reached alone. It's that contrast, too, right? Messi's dribbling, playmaking finesse versus Ronaldo's power, speed, aerial ability, pure goal-scoring drive.
Different styles, different physiques, even different perceived personalities.
Smaller, quieter, Messi versus the taller, more overtly confident Ronaldo. Looking at the big individual awards, the sources show Messi leads 8 Ballon d'Or to 5, 8 FIFA Best Awards to 5, 6 Golden Shoes to 4.
And head-to-head in their prime in those Clásicos.
Messi's teams had the edge. 15 wins from Messi's side, 10 for Ronaldo's, 9 draws in competitive club games. Messi even said he missed Ronaldo and the prestige he brought to La Liga after he left.
For a lot of people, that 2022 World Cup win kind of settled the Giota debate, didn't it?
It certainly shifted the narrative significantly for many, and Ronaldo himself said about a year later the rivalry is over and gone. An incredible era, though.
The other huge comparison, especially early on, was Diego Maradona.
Inevitable, wasn't it? Short, left-footed, Argentine playmaker genius. Messi was immediately hailed as the new Maradona.
And Maradona himself embraced it.
He did. Praised Messi from very early on, called him his successor. They had that unique player-manager relationship at the 2010 World Cup. Maradona was apparently just blown away seeing his talent up close every day. And he gave Messi the number 10 shirt, said nobody was better suited for it.
But interestingly, the sources point out that for a long time, Messi wasn't universally loved in Argentina the same way Maradona was.
Yeah, that's a complex point. Some Argentines felt Maradona had delivered the ultimate prize, the '86 World Cup, while Messi kept falling short internationally. Plus, Messi left Argentina so young, never played in their top league, and his personality was different, more reserved compared to Maradona's fiery, outspoken nature.
There was that perception, sometimes unfair, that he felt more Catalan or wasn't fully Argentine, not singing the anthem.
Right, that became a weirdly big talking point. But the sources clearly show a change, especially from around 2019. He seemed to make a real effort to connect more, be more vocal, lead differently, sing the anthem with visible passion. He became, as some put it, more Argentine.
And winning finally broke that barrier.
Completely. The 2021 Copa América was huge, but the 2022 World Cup, that cemented everything. As Messi himself said, today 95% or 100% of Argentines love me. You saw former players saying he found a Maradonian edge in his leadership during that World Cup run.
Beyond the pitch, his influence is just massive. Time 100 multiple times, globally recognized.
He's like a walking tourist attraction, the sources say, draws crowds everywhere.
Social media numbers are staggering, second only to Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And that World Cup winning post on Instagram, most liked ever.
Yeah, broke the internet, basically. Shows his insane global reach.
Fans react intensely. Remember him getting robbed in Buenos Aires after the World Cup? Just trying to have dinner.
Crazy. And his image pops up in unexpected places, like that festival in India with his picture on elephants. That's a different level of fame.
There have been controversies too, though. That Hong Kong incident in 2024.
Right. Staying on the bench for that friendly caused a huge backlash. Commercial deals pulled, issues between the Chinese and Argentine FAs, shows the pressure and expectation on him just to appear.
Financially, he's consistently been one of the world's highest paid athletes. Forbes lists hitting those huge earning milestones.
First footballer to break certain benchmarks, yeah. Second team sport athlete after Ronaldo to pass $1 billion in career earnings, according to the sources.
Sponsorships are a huge part of that. Adidas is the big one.
Long-term deal. They even gave him his own sub-brand, Adidas Messi. His jerseys always top sellers. Plus deals with Pepsi, Gillette, Turkish Airlines, Hard Rock Cafe. Loads of global brands.
That Turkish Airlines ad with Kobe Bryant was massive, wasn't it?
Huge hit. Most watched YouTube ad that year, voted ad of the decade later on. Iconic pairing. One sponsorship that's drawn criticism, mentioned in the sources, is his role as Saudi Arabia's tourism ambassador. That's faced sports washing accusations due to human rights concerns there.
Right. Highlights the complexities sometimes. But philanthropy has been a big focus for him, too, linked to his own childhood health issues.
Definitely. Involved with UNICEF since 2004, Goodwill Ambassador since 2010, field missions, campaigns for kids' health, education.
And his own foundation, the Leo Messi Foundation.
Founded in 2007 after visiting a children's hospital, focuses on healthcare, education, sports for vulnerable kids, funds research, training, medical centers in Argentina, Spain, elsewhere. Gets corporate support, too.
Lots of specific donations mentioned, too. Auctioning that gold foot replica for tsunami victims.
Donating libel case winnings, $1 million for COVID relief. And that time during the pandemic when the Barca players took a 70% pay cut so the club staff wouldn't lose pay, that was significant.
There's that anecdote about the Argentina security staff, too.
Oh yeah, that's a telling one from the sources. Back in 2016, the Argentine FA was broke, hadn't paid some security staff for months. Messi found out and just quietly paid their overdue wages himself.
Says a lot. Just quietly doing the right thing.
Exactly. No fanfare needed.
And his work, especially for kids' health and education, earned him the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom in January 2025.
Highest civilian honor. He couldn't attend, but sent a letter. Huge recognition for his off-field impact.
His image is everywhere, in street art, statues.
Madame Tussauds, that bronze one at CONMEBOL HQ next to Pelé and Maradona. Even that Sistine Chapel of football parody artwork. He's a cultural icon.
And he's moving into business ventures now, too, sports drinks. a production company.
Yeah, Moss Plus Sports Drink launched in 2024, apparently because he wanted a healthier option. And 525 Rosario, his production company, named after his hometown, aiming to create content for athletes, expanding his portfolio.
Okay, we should also address the challenge mentioned in the sources, the tax fraud case.
Right. It's important to cover it factually based on the material. An investigation started in 2013.
About using offshore companies, Uruguay, Belize, Panama, to reportedly avoid about $4.1 million in taxes on sponsorship money between 2007 and 2009.
The sources state he pleaded ignorance, saying he trusted his father and their lawyers who handled his finances. He did pay back the arrears, about $5.1 million, in 2013.
But he and his father were still found guilty in 2016.
Yes. They received suspended 21-month prison sentences, which usually aren't served in Spain for first-time, nonviolent offenses under 2 years, and they were fined. $1.7 million for Messi, $1.4 million for his father. The source quotes him saying, "I just played football, I trusted my dad and the lawyers."
So we're just presenting the facts as laid out in the source material provided.
Exactly. It's part of the documented record.
Well, pulling all this together from the sources, what an incredible journey we've traced. From that small kid in Rosario needing medical help, signing a contract on a napkin,
To becoming arguably the greatest footballer ever at Barcelona, winning everything multiple times.
facing international heartbreak, but finally reaching the absolute summit with Argentina, winning the World Cup.
Leaving records scattered across Europe and now making a huge splash in MLS.
All while building this massive off-field legacy through his influence and his charitable work.
It really is a story that's almost hard to comprehend in its scale and scope. So many moments of genius, so much pressure, incredible resilience.
Yeah, those specific details we found, like the napkin or playing through that injury with the mask or paying the security staff, they add such a human dimension beyond just the stats and the highlights.
They really do. And
Hmm.
thinking about that whole arc, from needing help himself as a child to achieving unparalleled success and then using that platform to help vulnerable children. What does that tell us about maybe not just talent, but about resilience, about adapting, and about finding ways to contribute meaningfully throughout your life?
That's a really powerful thought to leave things on. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Lionel Messi.